What's going on, guys? Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com bringing you a video today to discuss and share my thoughts on some recent Twitter drama. Sounds weird for me to say that, but hey, that's 2017 for you. So for those that don't know the situation, Vincent Kompany, who plays for Manchester City, he's the center back and actually the captain of the team, he recently tweeted. What is wrong with me? He recently tweeted out his displeasure towards Adidas in regards to them discontinuing the shoe that he's currently wearing and the fact that he is unhappy with their current lineup, claiming that they're changing products that are good for no reason. And I'll read you the exact tweet in just a second, but I went on his Twitter to see how often this guy tweets, because some athletes, because they have such a large following, they basically tweet all the time whatever's on their mind. So there's a lot of nonsense, some stuff that they would probably like to take back. But Vincent Kompany has tweeted less than 40 times in 2017, and basically the majority of his tweets are in regards to post-game analysis, kind of team morale stuff. He's not somebody that goes on Twitter just to say, just ate a burger and it was delicious, something like that. He seems to be using Twitter as a very professional type platform, given the following that he has as somewhat a celebrity or professional soccer player. So less than 40 tweets, which means that he must have been very, very pissed off to tweet this out. So let me quote the tweet. He said, "Annoying situation, great defenders boot being discontinued by Adidas, don't change good product, keep them coming." So why is this important? What exactly did he mean with this tweet? That's what I want to talk about right now. So along with the tweet that I just read for you guys, he also posted some pictures of himself wearing the shoes that he's unhappy that Adidas is discontinuing. And that specific shoe is the Adidas Ace 16.1 in the leather upper variation, which, as you guys know, if you are a boot enthusiast, the Ace 16 generation has been done for a little while now. They're on to the Ace 17 generation, and that's been the case for several months. So obviously this tells us that Vincent Kompany is not one to change his shoes very often, and he's definitely not one to keep up with what the newest thing is. He just wants a specific shoe for that shoe to be the same for as long as his career ends up going. As long as he likes it, he sees no reason to change them, which is why he seems to be so unhappy about having to change his shoes and what Adidas currently has on offer, because they really don't have anything quite like the leather Adidas Ace 16.1. And let me say this, let me share a little bit of a personal opinion on this particular shoe. I've reviewed it on the channel, and if I'm being 100% honest with you guys, I am not crazy about the Ace 16.1 in leather at all. It would not be my first choice as a leather shoe, but as I talk about a lot on this channel, personal preference is plays a major role in picking out new shoes, and obviously Vincent Kompany very much likes the Ace 16.1 in leather. He wouldn't be tweeting angrily about it if that wasn't the case, and who knows, his pair that he's wearing might be customized to a certain extent. It might not be exactly the same as the retail version that we could actually buy. But I think it's also important to note here is that I don't think Vincent Kompany is under contract with Adidas as an endorsed athlete. As far as I know, as far as I could tell, based on all of his social media platforms, he is a boot free agent, meaning that he has no endorsement deal at the moment. Now, he did have an endorsement deal previously with Warrior New Balance. So when Warrior first launched, he was one of the guys that was one of the major Warrior athletes. And then when they decided to rebrand Warrior to New Balance, he did wear New Balance for a short period of time. But obviously they saw little value in a guy like Vincent Kompany, I guess bringing notoriety to the brand. They didn't want to pay him anymore, or they didn't want to pay him what he potentially wanted. So that deal ended. And as far as I can tell, Adidas is not paying him either, because he hasn't really posted any promotional stuff about Adidas at all on any of his social media that I could see. And I don't think he would be criticizing Adidas like he is if he was endorsed by the brand. It's interesting that he's not blacking out his shoes, because normally that is the case when there are boot free agents, kind of like the Paulo Dybala situation, which I'm sure you guys are aware of. They don't want to give free advertising to any company with the large followings and large platforms that they have. But he seems to be wearing Adidas shoes openly and also criticizing them very, very openly, which is interesting because I can't recall any other situation like this, especially on Twitter of all places. One specific line in Kompany's tweet really resonated with me, and that was, "Don't change good product." This is something that kind of lines up with some of my own opinions on what Adidas has been doing over the last several years. Some of you guys might have seen these 5 things I hate about Nike and the 5 things I hate about Adidas videos. I'll leave a pop-up on screen to the Adidas one because in that particular video, I actually said something very, very similar in that I don't like the progression Adidas has from model to model. It almost seems like they're changing shoes for the sake of change as opposed to changing shoes for the sake of making them better. And that's kind of the same criticism that Kompany is giving here. And I think it's pretty fair to say that the way he's saying this particular quote is more so through frustration that the shoe he has been wearing is no longer going to be available, not so much in terms of analyzing Adidas versus all the other brands and the products that they currently have on offer, which is kind of how I came to this particular conclusion. But I definitely think it's safe to say that when Adidas comes out with new models, most of the time, especially as of late, there's almost no relation to the previous model. It's not like when you look at the Nike Mercurial line, for example, where it's like they take the element that was really good or the elements that were really good from the old model, they maintain them on the newer model and they add the improvements. The core of what that shoe is all about remains the same, but they add on the latest and greatest technologies, the latest and greatest ideas. There's relation to the previous model, where with some of these new Adidas shoes, there's almost no relation to the previous shoe whatsoever. In the case of Kompany here, obviously he really does not want to stop wearing the A16.1 leather. I'm not sure if he's had a chance to look at what Adidas currently has on offer. Obviously they do make an A17.1 in leather as well, although I would argue it's a fair bit different in terms of the upper itself. Still leather, but a very different type of leather. One-piece design for the synthetic part, which he probably isn't a fan of if I'm just guessing, but it does maintain the same sprint frame and sole plate, so there are similarities to the previous model there. And also the Copa 17.1. I know Adidas doesn't like to put their endorsed athletes in the Copa 17.1 for whatever reason, but he doesn't seem to be an Adidas endorsed athlete. So given what he liked in the A16.1 leather, he would probably like the Copa 17.1 if I'm just guessing. Again, I don't know if he's already taken a look at what's on offer, what's available, and he just doesn't like the new stuff at all. But this is just something that I'm kind of speculating on for the sake of having an opinion here. So it's definitely a very interesting situation. I'm very curious to see if Adidas is going to respond to this at all. I'm curious if this is going to result in a boot deal with another brand, or even perhaps with Adidas themselves, who might see the best route to kind of resolve this situation to sign a guy like Kompany to the brand and make him happy. I'm really, really curious to see how this situation is going to work itself out. All right, guys, so that is pretty much it. Let me know down below in the comments, what boot do you think Vincent Kompany is going to end up wearing? I'm sure he still has some A16.1 leather shoes stockpiled in his inventory, but maybe he doesn't. He will have to wear something new eventually. Will it be an Adidas boot? Will it be something else from another brand? Will he get some kind of boot endorsement deal out of this? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. As always, if you have any questions for me, leave them down below in the comments as well, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all of my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.